All right, guys, daily drive time. Here we go. So, end of the day, I'm absolutely shattered, and on my way back. So let's see. We're gonna do all our normal sort of checks. Going out, I need to start checking slowly, just so you know, don't get like whoosh, like that sort of movement in the videos. Coming up to the lights, going left. Did a morning one today with like dual carriageways. And hopefully that helped, and then today is going to be a little bit of a few meeting situations. Should be a little bit quieter in this area now, and then I did a little segment with a mate of mine actually earlier on, so you might see that. He's a driving instructor as well, funny as hell. Bobby his name is. So yeah, you might see him on the video, so that was a bit of fun. I was actually at the driving test centre in Watford, and he was there as well, meeting his client, and he just took me in the car. It felt like I got hijacked. But he took me in. I've known him for years, lovely guy, and yeah, just went for a little drive. Then he started pretending for about 1 minute to how you're meant to drive, and so that was quite funny. But yeah, have a look at that if you get a chance. So yeah, meeting scenarios coming up. So I had a couple just now. I'm talking through it, but let's take this side road here because it's often busy. But at this time of day, it's a Friday, and this is a sort of a religious Jewish area, so it's going to be quiet because they stop driving at this on this sort of time. So normally these sort of scenarios here, there'll be packed cars coming, but I'm always still, it's just a habit. I'm looking at the gaps. I'm looking at gap here, looking at the gap there. If a car comes now, I'm going to start checking behind. I'm going to start braking and waiting here and letting them go in. If a car kind of comes now, I've got the option to kind of check my mirrors, smoothly come in if I want to, do that, then come back out, you know. So these are the sort of things you've got to keep in mind. And then we're going to go left at the end. So coming up to the end here, I'm going to do my checks, check both sides, see that car coming. That's why you check both sides, okay? Never rush these junctions. 80% of all accidents happen at junctions, okay? They used to have an advert from the government before. So alright, so now we're coming up to the end of the road, and then we're going to turn right. Yeah, junctions here. Car coming that side. I'm going to check on the other side as well. That looks clear. So after these couple of vehicles, I've got a potential chance. That van's there. Let's see if it can work out together. But nope, didn't work out there. They're too close. So there is no rush. I'd rather be a tiny bit later on the junction and not have an accident than to spend an hour or 2 hours in an accident, which is a nightmare. So, you know, got to protect us all. There we go. So there we go. Coming out nice and smooth, easy, simple. There is no rush. People panic at junctions. They're stressing out. They're thinking, oh, what's the examiner going to think? You never do that. What you've got to do is just do your own drive, okay? Zebra crossing here. Have a look. Nice and easy, dead clear, and off you go. So yeah, just do your own drive. Don't drive for the examiner. Don't think about what they're thinking. You need to know what's right and wrong and go according to that. Because if it's right, great, happy days, you got your license. If it's wrong, at least you know you've made the error. You know that you did the error and you didn't do it because you were just under pressure from, you know, thinking about what you're meant to try and do, etc. So there was a situation where I had a couple of students where their friend had failed at the start of the driving test for hesitation, and when the friends were in the car with me, they started jumping out of the junctions, like, you know, even when cars were close by, they were going out, and I was like, why are you guys doing this? Like, you know, you're not meant to. They're like, no, our friend fell for hesitation. I was like, yeah, but you weren't there. You don't know what happened. You've just, you know, been told that your friend that, oh, I failed for hesitation. And the situation, probably the scenario is that, you know, the student had ample chances to go and didn't, you know, and the examiners deemed it to be wrong. But you know, when the opportunities are there, you're meant to seize them, and when they are not there, you're meant to stay back and wait. So, you know, you don't worry about what a lot of people say. You know, they talk about, oh, crossing your hands and this and that, or, you know, different things. So just generally whatever your teacher's telling you should be right. You know, we all have different opinions as well. Like, I will have a different opinion to another mate of mine, or a colleague of mine, and you know, the way I teach will be different to the way they teach, etc. So you know, you got to keep all of these things in mind. Don't try and take every little bit of advice on, because it's too much. You'll get actually overwhelmed with it. Now there's a car coming out from there. I've left a little gap for him, so I don't like to block junctions, and you shouldn't. So you know, it helps the flow of traffic. So had I stayed in front, they might not have been able to come out. Okay, so it's always good to do that. Now the lights have changed, and I've had one person many years ago, actually pre-COVID actually, and they failed for blocking a road. So they sort of said, oh, there was no keep clear there, but the examiner was like, yeah, but you can't block it. And what happened was, when they blocked the road, there was a guy trying to come out of that road, and when they were trying to come out, you know, the driver was really aggressive, started horning and everything, even though they knew that the student was on the driving test. But you know, what can you do? So anyway, there's a biker right there. Look, hello biker, there you go. Good. You always got to be careful of them, because they're not very noisy. When I had my motorbike, ooh, look at that. That was interesting. See, that guy didn't look. He's not even signaling, nothing. Biker's going to look at him. So yeah, that's what happens when you don't check your mirrors and you don't signal. So yeah, so when I had my motorbike, we had a custom exhaust on it, and you could hear me a mile away, and it wasn't obnoxious, it was just you could hear me. So we're coming down the dual carriageway, and cars would literally just part ways so that I could go through the middle, and it was really good actually. And at first I used to always think, why have these motorbikes got these loud exhausts? And then I realized, you know, in the end, apart from, yes, it sounds nice, etc., it really helps the drivers, you know. I have right over here, so they know that. And if you hesitate in these sort of junctions, they'll take full advantage of you and they'll go. So you got to make sure you know the rules. Okay. Good. There we go. Now we're gonna come up to the top of the road. Got a mini roundabout coming up. Okay. And then as we get there, we're gonna go left. Okay. And then we're gonna join a dual carriageway later on. So check my mirrors, do the signals. And then I'm looking at that white van vehicle, yeah? And then this grey car, if they were quicker, they would have blocked them for me, but they didn't, so I had to wait, okay? So yeah, you get sometimes some students are like, oh, can I hold the steering wheel with one hand and do this sort of thing, you know, just chill, or hold it here or hold it wherever. But ideally what you want to do is just kind of have your hands generally above this halfway section. That gives you more control, more stability with your driving. I don't let my students drive like this. I hate it myself. But you know, the general concept for the driving test at the moment is control the car. So if you control it with one hand, or you control it with two, or if you can't control the car properly with two hands and you're better with one, then you drive better with one. So I've had students who will turn the wheel like this and drive whatever, and as long as they're driving properly and they're not messing around and taking all the turns and everything correctly, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, there's the old school thing that you have to make sure you only drive like this, like where you turn the wheel like this and you feed it through, and that's what we teach all our learners, because it gives them the most control. The bus is stopped, so I'm gonna go. There we go, perfect. And then you want to go directly into the left lane if possible. Got the van there, looking in that mirror, so I'm not going to overtake, and then we're going to carry on. I'm not giving you guys much commentary on the driving, I'm just giving you stories today. So, but yeah, hopefully you're going to learn from it all. But be very chill with your driving. Don't, like, I've got students that are like tense, they're really tense, like their arms are like locked out like this, and you know, you should just be drooping, chilling. Look, my arms are like nice and relaxed. I'm like hardly putting any pressure on the wheels. Hopefully you can see that with the camera. If I tilt it down, you might see it. So yeah, so like my arms are like this, nice and relaxed. I'm not like that. I'm not pushing my body out. I'm not tensing here. I'm just nice and chilled. Arms should be nice. What do you call it? Not locked. Bent arms. Your shoulders will be sort of chilled out as well. So you know, I had one of my students. They were my neighbor as well, and they, after about 20 minutes or so, or half an hour driving, he was like, my shoulders are killing me. I was like, you death gripping the wheel, so naturally, you know, it's gonna hurt. So like, you don't need to hold on to the steering wheel so much. Well, there's a lot of traffic in this lane and nothing in that lane. There you go. But you can see I'm constantly observing what's going on. If I ever want to change lanes, I know what's happening. Like, there's a gap there, so if I wanted to cut over, I potentially had a chance there in that mirror. I don't know if you can see it. So, you know, a lot of students, they don't take advantage of these mirror checks enough. A lot of the time it's just experience, so I can't really knock you guys for it. So now I'm just going to wait here. Now normally on a normal road, this is where this is important, because cars can come out and turn this way, and cars can come from that direction, for example, and come in. But on a dual carriageway like this, they're not going anywhere. So even if I were to block it, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I just like to leave it clear. Yeah, so someone might come and go right behind the Ford, and you know, happy days. You get a lot of drivers, they're so stupid and really annoying, they'll just stop right in front of you. So you can see this car come out, they'll have an opportunity to come out. There you go, so she's happy. That's it, job done. So that's all it's about. Okay, keeping the flow of traffic going, keeping the drivers happy. No one really cares anymore on driving this so aggressive, it's unbelievable. You saw it in probably one of the other videos where a car just came right in front of me. That, I think that was a mistake by the driver, but you know, she's sweet. There you go. And look how she turned really well. When she turned so sharp, she stayed in her lane, which is really important, because you know, it's a tight lane there. So good driver there. There you go. So keeping my distance, they brake, I brake. Always remember that. My eyes are locked onto their lights. I do not look at anything else apart from their lights initially. That's my number one thing, because if they brake and I'm not braking, I'm going into them. So I like to keep my distance. Look, they're braking, I'm gonna hold back. I got a good gap, so I don't need to brake too much. So they're going that direction, I'm going to be going that direction as well. Often when people signal, they will start braking to slow down for a turn. So if someone signals and their brake lights are not on, just expect their brake lights to start coming on and slowing down. So you know, keep that in mind. All right, they're still braking, so I braked a little, I stayed back. I'm just maintaining the gap. Look at the gap. The gap is the key. If you can maintain this gap, it doesn't matter what that car, if they slam the brakes, I might be, you know, even if I'm distracted for a little bit, I should be able to react to it, you know. So unless I'm totally oblivious to the fact that I'm looking at, you know, houses or something else, then, you know, it's a problem. But then, you know, you're gonna crash anyway, no matter what you're doing. So but yeah, apart from that, that is it. And then I'm waiting to do a maneuver, because one of the viewers was saying that they were struggling with bay parking or parking, but at the moment there's no parking spots here, so I can't really do anything. But I'll try and do something on that later on. I can do parallel parking in this car, but then, you know, every car is different, so sometimes it might not be that it might not be worth doing the maneuvers that much, because everyone's going to have different reference points and things like that, so it might just throw you off a little bit. So let's take this left turn over here. You sometimes get a few meeting scenarios on this road, but I bet today, because I'm videoing, there's going to be nothing. But notice here, park cars on the bends on both sides, so it's narrowing the road down. I'm looking down the road and then I'm fine. Okay, peek over, lean your body over, it doesn't matter. Okay, end of the day, you need to be safe. That's it. So we've got these humps. These humps are huge, so you always want to make sure you're nice and slow coming up to them. That's it. Good. I hear like a knocking sound on my car. I think I need to get it serviced. So, but yeah, we're gonna come up to another little mini roundabout, and then that will be the drive for today. And then hopefully, if I get time, we'll do something tomorrow or day after. So yeah, coming up to this mini roundabout, let's scan it, make sure it's all good, nothing's there. I'll take a right actually and go into this road. There we go, nice and smooth, good. Don't forget, you can touch the mini roundabouts a little. Do not go fully over them. Okay, you can touch them a little bit like this, like a quarter. And if you can avoid it, go around them, great. But sometimes it's too awkward to go around, especially in places like Boreham Wood, where some of them are so tight, you have to touch and go on them a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to go so wide, you'll end up you know, going onto the curb or something like that. So keep that in mind. Hope that's helped you guys. Not much happened today, I was just talking a lot, but but hope it helps. Anyway, good luck with your drive. I'll see you on the next daily drive. Stop recording.